So I've had a lot of people asking me if I could review their brand. And the best way that I decided to do this was by creating the $1 Million Brand Refresh series. But this is going to be more than just a regular brand review. This is going to be something that you can really learn from versus just random commentary on people's brands like most brand reviews are. I feel like brand reviews have kind of turned into this thing where people that don't really know so much about what they're talking about except for their own personal experience will talk about a brand and kind of just rip off the top of their head. I actually, in these, I prepare them, and it's kind of like a strategy session around their brand. For example, like what we're going to be covering in this video are their current socials and website and how to optimize those so you can take away the learnings from what theirs are. And then how I would scale this brand to be $1 million brand using the ACR framework that I talked about in this video that I'll pop up here if you want to watch that. It's essentially the funnel that I use to ensure that a brand gets to their revenue goals. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you can get all of my content every single week. I do 2-3 videos a week, just kind of going over what I do to make millions of dollars per year in my business. You know, we've got our silver Shopify bag. We made the Inc. 5000 list for 2025. And there's just stuff in here that no brand scaler is going to show you because they have to sell you a course in order to make their money. I don't have to do that. I sell services and things like that because I wanted to offer it to people, but like, obviously I don't really need to be doing all that. And pretty much my like YouTube channel is the course, right? It's all for free. So subscribe for more. Now we're going to get into the brand here. I'm just going to go start with their Instagram. And so let me turn this into mobile. There we go. And so as you can see, we have their Instagram content. And one of the biggest things that I see pretty much every brand struggling with is the content aspect and the world building aspect of their brand. And this brand has really good product. Specifically these jeans right here, I think are really good product. But let me go back. These jeans right here are actually really good product, but they aren't doing the world building necessary to really showcase what the brand is about. If I wanted to get cool pants, I could get cool pants in other places. I think that they can build this out to be a unique selling point for them. And that's actually something that I have written in my notes about this brand. And one thing that I wanted to point out to them is that this type of content right here is actually something that I would continue doing. And if you're a brand watching, like this type of content, not so much like what they're doing, but the format of it, where there's a person in the foreground with the clothing on and there's something going on in the background that's kind of, I guess, holding the attention of the viewer. That type of content is actually doing really well. But I would like to see this brand owner, and I talked to them about this, and they actually went through my boot camp about building your perfect consumer profile. And what that does is like actually thinking about what your consumer, like what they do on a regular basis, their habits, their the things that they already use, the environments that they're in. These things are really important because it'll dictate and it'll inform you on what you should be doing in your content. Now, this guy isn't like super far off. Like this type of content is pretty far off. Like obviously you don't want to just do lay flats and stuff like this, but this type of thing can be very, very close to what he would probably be producing after he really dials in what his consumer is. This is super broad and just kind of like trying to get like virality in a sense, which is not what you're trying to do with what you should be trying to do with content. You should be more so building your world so that when someone lands on your Instagram or a TikTok or whatever, they feel like they've entered into a world, a movie theater of your movie, showing your movie, surrounding your brand. So that would be the main thing that I would change about this content. It's not bad content. This brand has sold before. The owner said that they've sold out of some of their pieces, not sold out of other pieces. And so that's what I would do with the content side of things. Now, if you look at like the product side of things, they made a huge switch from like kind of like almost like prep to streetwear in a sense. Like this could be considered a streetwear silhouette because of how it's cropped and the oversize aspect of it. But these are almost two different genres of clothing. This one to this one, kind of two different genres of clothing. And that would be another reason why I would go back to the drawing board and figure out who my perfect consumer profile is. Because the whole thing, I talk about it in my free boot camp. If you want it, it's in the description. You can click the link for that. But the whole reason why you want to know who your consumer is because it's going to inform everything that you do, down to what products you design, what type of marketing that you do, the environments that your models are in, the type of models you use, the things and like items that you give your models in the shoots, all of everything. And so that's very important. And that's the only thing that I think this social media is missing. So moving on to their website, the main thing that I'd probably change is the fact that it's password locked. And I understand that a lot of people work with limited stock and things like that. But I'm going to get into part of the strategy for you, and that's like creating a core line or something that's always available or easily available for you. Because the opportunity that you're losing by keeping your site locked far outweighs any sort of like exclusivity hype that you might have as a brand. And that's just something that I think a lot of brands need to get over, is like this, this exclusivity style thing that you're trying to play into because you can't manage your stock properly. We'll get into that in a second, but that's like a big thing, is like always have your site unlocked. For me to review the site itself, this banner looks nice. It really kind of gets cut off on desktop. Like if I look at mobile, it's a little bit better because it actually shows let me refresh this. It actually shows the whole person. But this right here isn't so important to like show a specific product like in its entirety. It's more for like showing the brand off. So if you look at one of the brands that I've been working with, what we focus on here is just kind of like showing the vibe of the brand, where it's based, what it's doing, the consumer profile kind of being shown in this case. And you'll see as well, if I inspect it, that it's not so much about like what the product is. It's just like showing movement, the brand, the vibe, things like that. And so that's really important for this right here, is you don't necessarily need to like focus on showing the specific product. Just show the brand. What is the world? What is the vibe? What is the feel? Going back to the consumer profile. So from there, the most important page really is going to be the product page. So let's get into that. Most of your advertising is going to go to the product page, and realistically, that's where everyone transacts with your business. So it's the most important page on your website. Now, the biggest thing that I'd say that you should change from this product page to start with would be the top of this page here, where like 20% of it is taken up by this top bar, this big fat top bar that you have. And I would just like reduce that. Like if you see on the brand that I'm working with, they said that I could use them as an example. As you can see, I have like a very small bar, and it gets even smaller as you scroll because the little top part goes away. One thing that you want to do is not distract too much from like the people being able to buy. You want the person to be able to like focus on the imagery and the add to cart button and the information on the side, versus like this big, piece just being taken out. You can't even see the full hoodie from the fold, even on desktop. I mean, if you look at mobile, it's even worse, where you can't even see like much besides just this first part. You can't like select your size or add to cart from the fold. You have this big bar here. If you look at the fold on mine, you'll see that the add to cart button is above the fold. You can select your size right away. And it's all just like much more compact and easier to kind of immediately add to cart and buy something. The main thing that I always talk about on product pages is getting that add to cart button above the fold, because not a lot of people scroll. Like I'd say like 60% of people that even visit your website aren't going to scroll. And so making it as dead simple to add to cart is very, very, very important. And this goes for every brand. You'll see also, as like I scroll, for example, here, you'll be able to add it to cart as you go. There's no possibility that while you're on the product page that you won't be able to add to cart. That's kind of what I'm saying. And so for here, the layout is nice. And I think they might have actually even kind of modeled this after the training that I had about like your product buy box and stuff like that. But I really think that they should take the like title, the price, the stock thing, all of this top stuff and put it underneath the add to cart button, because someone can see the price. Like if it's added to cart, for example, and like brought into your cart view, you can see the price from there. You just want them to add it to cart from the product page. That's all you really want. And so that's what we're going to do, like make sure happens is, bring the add to cart button up. I only really have the title like down here by like the product details and stuff. But other than that, it's all about purchasing, like right here. That's what they should be doing here on their brand, is bringing the add to cart button up. The sizes can go up. And I mean, this is pretty clean right here. I like the reviews. It's not bad by any means. It's just the little tweaks. Now I'm going to see what happens when I add to cart really quick. And they do have, unlocking free shipping, all that type of stuff. This looks really nice, actually. All of this looks really nice. And I would pretty much keep everything the same, besides maybe allowing people to buy like the jeans in here somewhere, because or the other product, just have like in-cart upsells so they don't have to, like, for example, if I wanted to add more to take advantage of this buy two, I have to go back and then I have to like go into the other product and then I have to add that to cart. And then now I get the reward. So just have that option right here. And that's pretty much all you really have to do. So now that I got through like the brand experience, the user experience of the brand, let's get into what I would do to scale this brand into $1 million business, some actual tactics. Before I get into that part of the training, if you want me to do this for your brand, you can do so by clicking the link that's in the description, and I'll literally do the same exact thing I'm doing for this brand for yours, by doing what's called the brand refresh. You'll click the link, you'll see something called the brand refresh, and you can have one of these done for you, for your brand. I'll sit down and not only critique the brand, what you currently have, but also do what I'm about to get into, which is making your brand into $1 million brand by using the ACR framework, which is just something that I coined in order to explain the funnel that I use that got our brand to millions of dollars per year. And it's very simple, but a lot of brands struggle with it because most people just want to talk about going viral on Instagram. Most people want to talk about scaling with meta ads. And that's not the only thing that's going to make your brand $1 million brand. You need to attract customers. You need to convert those customers. And then very importantly, you need to retain those customers in order to consistently scale your brand, get it to the $1 million per year or $100,000 per month or whatever your goal is, right? This is how you're going to do it. And this is how you're going to do it in a way that is repeatable, understandable, controllable, and constant. So we'll get into it right now. So for Project.Unruly specifically, this is what I would do. And you can take away as a viewer some of the things that I'm talking about and implement them for your own brand if they make sense. So first thing that I'm doing is I would really focus on affiliates and using meta ads to get people into your core collection line. And so I talked about a core collection line because the main thing that I saw that was a problem with your website, right, was that it was locked. If you have some sort of core collection you can stock and continue to stock and that does well through meta ads and things like that, that would be the best thing to start building up. You're not going to just like snap your fingers and have it there right away. But what you should try and do is like every drop that you have, kind of keep that like bestseller on your site as the core collection so that you can run meta ads to them, consistently buy them, or have people consistently buy them, consistently get stock of it as it runs out, and keep that living on your site. And then just do exclusive limited drops like normal, like you normally would do a drop where you have a collection. And then every time you do that, you take those best sellers and you add it to that core line so that you can consistently run ads to it. So you're going to have affiliates, which are not a combination of customers, micro influencers, things like that. And you're going to use those affiliates to create content for you, whether it's just customers, doing like a get ready with me, or you can get influencers to have an affiliate link where they're going to create content for you and actually run that as the ads for your brand. You'll be able to create content for your brand using like all the stuff that I was talking about with your consumer profile. Your brand will make content that's branded to you. But as far as ads go, that's not really enough. So you need to get like affiliates and customers and influencers come in and create ad content for you in exchange for like an affiliate link and some free product, and use that as ads. Why that's really important is because your brand, or this brand right here, has a lot of content made by the brand, but there isn't that much content that's made by other people, which is very important going into 2026. Like that's going to be that's going to be like the meta for brand owners. You'll see a lot of people taking advantage of affiliates, taking advantage of micro influencers to create content for them, right? And you can pay them on a pay per result basis. So you're not going to give them money up front. You're going to give them free product if they haven't bought it already. Like some of these people will be customers. So if they haven't bought it already, you'll give them free product. But the only way they're getting paid is through that affiliate link that they will be able to promote themselves. But then also when you run the ad, you'll run the ad through their affiliate link. So if that ad makes a sale, you'll be able to automatically pay them for that using some sort of affiliate app in Shopify. And that's how they'll get paid. You won't pay them up front. You'll pay them just for the result they bring you, which is what my business does, for example. Now, here's where you're going to create your community. Now, this is some higher level stuff. So like I told you, I'm going to really lay it out for you how you would make this into $1 million brand. This is where you're going to create your community. You're not going to create like a consumer community necessarily. That's kind of old. That's like an outdated method. Everyone kind of knows that if you're getting someone into a Discord community, for example, it's just to market to them more. And so that's not really the way of that we're going to do it. Most people don't even care about a community around a brand anyway. Like there's unless there's like some way that they can flex your brand and there's that perceived value of your brand already, there's no reason for you to make a community there. But you can create a community with your affiliates, with your micro influencers that you're going to be sending product to. You can do, cash bonuses for like being the top of the leaderboard, or you can do giveaways to all of those people. Like this is where you build your community. This is where you build a Discord. This is where you make people really invested in your brand, are the ones that are going to be helping people consume your brand, essentially. Now from there, we're going to talk about your core line, which is basically just a collection of the products that that sell, because you're going to run your meta ads to that. Like if you lock your site, you can't run meta ads. You can't invest in a lot of marketing because you're not going to be able to make money from that marketing if you don't have this core line, right? So this is how you're going to be able to create something that you're known for. Because they're bestsellers, for example, you can create this collection of stuff that people will start to know you for. For example, if those jeans that you showed on your Instagram right here end up being a bestseller, which I think you should probably, just a quick hack, people should be making more pants, to be completely honest. So if these go well for you when you drop them, like when this brand drops them and they go well for them, they should just go all in on these types of jeans. Not these specific jeans, but jeans in general, and start designing jeans. And then they can become known for their jeans, and that can be what they do for their core collection, right? And so it's something that you can be known for, that people can come to your site and buy from. And then your drops, like your exclusive drops, are really just for the people who already buy from you and want something that's trendier or higher effort or whatever, right? And that's what your exclusive drops are going to be. For your core line, it's really just for spearheading into your niche, something that you're known for, and a rinse and repeat kind of stock thing, right? You can rinse and repeat the stock for it. You buy stock, it's going to sell. You buy more stock, it's going to sell. You don't have to like re-up a whole bunch, but like you keep like 30 to 50 to 100 units, whatever the size of your brand is, right? You keep that. And when it sells out, you rebuy that amount. It's not going to scale like this crazy amount unless you hit some like meta ads that really convert well, which is a good problem to have. But you just kind of consistently scale that stock. You don't like re-up 3x or 2x or anything crazy. And then your core line in that collection itself should get up to about 10 to 20 pieces that you know sell well, that you know you can stock. You sit at around 10 or 20 pieces. Once you get there, you slowly get up to that point, right? And then from there, it's just exclusive drops. These are your higher price stuff, the trendier stuff, the higher effort stuff that you're going to drop. So you'll be able to think about your collections now as like, what can I add to the core collection that I know is going to sell well? And then what can I like throw out there and be crazy and do like my what do I normally call it? Your flagship products, where you go all the way out there and you do something crazy. Like for example, like the weird like Mega Man boots. Let me see. Like these joints that like that like took over the internet in, I think it was like 2022 or 2023, whatever. Like these things were everywhere. And like, I'm sure the brand made some money off of it, but it was more of like a marketing ploy than anything, because they're kind of ugly. Like no one's really gonna wear them, but they do wear them kind of thing. If you know kind of thing, I guess. But like that's their flagship product. And that's like what your thing would be, where you do like these higher effort, trendier conversation starters, right? That you can take a risk on because you have that core line, you have your meta ads going and feeding to that core line. And that's how you're going to kind of, scale your business up. You scale your baseline revenue using meta ads and your core line. And then your exclusive drops are where you make like big moves, like risks, big conversation starters, higher effort stuff, right? And then from there, your referral and loyalty program will kick in for the customers. You can have a really, really good item reward path where you can only get certain items through that path. And so they have to participate in your loyalty program in order to get those certain items. And then it's like if you know kind of thing with your brand, kind of like how Hermes does the Birkin bags, right? Everyone wants a Birkin bag, but you can't get a Birkin bag unless you spend like a certain amount, until you've had a certain amount of brand loyalty to Hermes. And that's what you could be doing with your brand in a small way. Like obviously you're not Hermes, right? But you can create that type of marketing by having your brand loyalty programs do so. And like obviously people can refer friends for benefits, discounts, whatever you really want to do, but you want to focus on that reward path in this case. So this person has had some level of success selling their products, but this right here, using like the ACR method, the ACR framework that I've built out, is going to kind of push them to be that $1 million brand, which is what this series is all about. It's called the $1 million brand refresh for a reason, because I wanted to take what is kind of a surface level brand review kind of format that most people do and like really get down to like the nitty gritty of it and really give a path for someone who gets a brand refresh from me and give them the $1 million pathway essentially. So if they spend the next year or so, 6 months, really you could do this in 6 months if you really like sit down and do it. If this brand owner does that, each of these steps that I put forth for him, he's going to scale a lot. Like these are all of the different little pieces of psychology, pieces of brand building that you need in order to push past that. And so finding ways to do this is going to be very important. If you're a brand that's watching it, you can do this for your brand as well. But if you want me to do one specifically for you, ideas for you, and a path for you, then you can go ahead and click the link that's in the description and get your own brand refresh done as well. So that's pretty much it. I hope that was really informative, not only for the brand that I did it for, but for you if you're a person who watched it. I appreciate you watching the video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel and help out a small channel like myself, I'm not quite that big yet as far as my personal brand goes. So I'm hoping that like my ability right now to get super granular with my small amount of subscribers is very valuable to you, but it's obviously not going to last forever if I start growing more this year. So take advantage of it while you can, but I appreciate every single one of you. And I hope 2026 is a really, really successful year for everyone watching me. And I hope I can be a part of that for you. So subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.